So I just couldn't help myself. I have friends who are expecting their first baby, so I wanted to make them something special this week. Hey, I'm Janelle. This is toDIYfor. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, I do new DIYs every single Wednesday, and I love sharing my DIYs with you. I love it when you share your DIYs with me. If you make anything, definitely make sure you tag me on Instagram at Janelle Steeper in what you're making. So in normal times, I would have 100% offered to go over to my friend's space and give them a little mini room makeover in their new nursery. I would have loved to do that, but obviously I cannot with COVID times. So I wanted to make a few things for them to maybe spruce up the room and for, them to use when baby comes. So let's get into these DIYs. So I started with these frames that I found at Dollarama. They were so cute. We've got a whole animal theme going on here. They were $2 a piece, so I just sanded them down and I painted them up. That's pretty much all there was to this project, and I went with some pastel colors, so mixing some white with just some basic acrylic paint that I had at the dollar store, and that's really all there was to it. Once you do this, I did put on a few coats of Varathane and I kept the frames nude. We were kind of going with this color palette for the entire project. And of course, we've got a whole animal theme going on here. So once I was done those, I moved on to this little kind of crinkle toy that I'm making. So I've got 2 pieces of fabric here and 2 pieces of each fabric. They are 8 by 8 inch squares. And then we've got a bunch of pieces of trim in similar colors and this piece of a cereal bag. I'll explain in a few seconds. So a crinkle toy is kind of something that a child will use. It's a sensory item. It'll make noise, and they'll use it probably a little bit later down the line. So I've got these pieces of trim that I've looped in. So the fold is actually on the inside. And as you can see, I'm just pinning them to this fabric here and making sure that they reach all the way to the end, because when we sew this all together, it's going to be like a pillow. They will eventually be on the outside. So I've pinned those all into place. I'm going to pin this fabric now down on top. You want to make sure your good sides of your fabric are on the inside. For me, I actually have good sides on both sides just because there's 4 pieces of fabric here. But I took this through my sewing machine with a standard straight stitch. I sewed around 3 edges, and then you're going to flip it inside out. So again, just like a pillow, and you can see now all of those loops of fabric are on the outside. So why you want to use a cereal bag is A, the plastic is super crinkly and nice and loud, but also it's a food safe plastic. We know the baby is going to chew on this at some point. So just make sure you wash and clean the bag before you put it inside, and then you can take it through with a straight stitch and sew it all up. Now this is a pacifier clip I bought, and I cut off the standard ribbon, and I'm going to do a macrame instead. So I've got 2 very long pieces on the outside here. They're at least 4 feet long, and then on the inside it's only about 1.5 feet of loops. So this is your standard knot that I've shown you in multiple videos before. I'll leave that linked below for you to check out how to do that first knot. This second knot I've never shown you before, so it's really easy. I've got 2 pieces here, and the outer one is wrapping around the outside, and it's like a little tiny knot, and you slide it all the way to the top and make sure it's nice and tight. I did 5 of those on each side. So just remember, when you do it on the opposite side, you want the knot to be on the outside like I'm showing you here. It's going to create a really cool kind of design we've got going on when I show you how it looks at the end, but I did 5 of those on each side. I went back to that standard square knot, I believe it's called, and I did about 6 of those. And as you can see, we've got that cool little design now. So in the center, I took one of those pieces and I've looped it back, and the tail end is sticking out there. We're going to do a few more of those square knots, and that secures that in place because we want to loop at the other end to get the pacifier on and off. With all of the extra strands there, you can see I've done a huge, massive knot. And if you pull each one of those strings tight on their own, that will create a really tight knot. And I just trimmed off all of the excess. So here's how you attach the pacifier. It simply just loops in and loops around the same way we attach all of the macrame cords to every project that we do. So you want to make sure that that loop is big enough that you can adjust that, because the pacifier sizes change as the child gets older. So here's the sound of that Crinkle toy. Oh, I love it, and I've paired this all together with a few onesies and a book, and I think it's just a great little gift that's very personalized. I hope this gives you ideas maybe for your own baby that you're expecting, or for a friend or family member who might have a little one on the way. Let me know which was your favorite part of this DIY, and please don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back next Wednesday with a new one. Cheers.